The Young and the Restless Spoilers. Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today is a crazy Tuesday, but honestly, I am still shaking from what we just watched. So grab a drink, take a deep breath, and let's dive right into this absolute madness together. I cannot believe they just did that. I am literally typing this with shaking hands because I am so incredibly furious and heartbroken and just completely overwhelmed by what we just witnessed on our screens. I mean, are you kidding me right now? Tracy Abbott? Tracy? Of all the people in Genoa City, of all the characters who have done shady, terrible things and maybe deserved a little bit of karma, they go after the pure, beating heart of the Abbott family. I am just so sick to my stomach over this. React first, explain later, I know, but I just had to get that out because I am sitting here screaming at my television like a crazy person. So let's back up and talk about how this absolute nightmare even started. We all knew Tracy was taking a massive risk. We saw it coming. Diane has been completely paralyzed with fear over this doctor. Lawrence Markham's psycho, and understandably so, considering he ambushed her and held her hostage while Patty Williams played her sick game. But because Diane was too terrified to function, our sweet, brave Tracy decided to step up. She was sitting there alone in the Abbott Mansion library trying to put together a plan to contact Martin Laurent. Because remember, Markham's creepy little hideout was filled with books by Alan Laurent, Martin's twin. Tracy figured she was the only one Martin might actually talk to, the only one who could get clues about where Markham was hiding. And I was sitting on my couch thinking, Tracy, girl, what are you doing? You are an author, not a spy. But that is just who she is. She loves Jack more than she loves herself, and she wanted to protect her family. She was sitting at that desk, probably looking up at John Abbott's portrait, trying to gather the courage to reach out to a literal psychopath to save her brother's wife. It was such a beautiful, tense character moment. But then, the shadow. Oh my God, the shadow in the doorway. I felt my stomach drop to the floor. Doctor. Lawrence Markham actually had the absolute audacity to sneak into the Abbott mansion. How did he even get in? Does this family not have security? I mean, Victor Newman has guards at every blade of grass on his ranch, but the Abbotts just leave their doors unlocked for any roaming serial killer to waltz right in? Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's focus on the scene. Markham didn't just break in to steal something. He was there for blood. He wanted to stop Tracy from contacting Martin, sure, but he also wanted to send a message. And the way they filmed this scene was straight out of a horror movie. The lighting in the library was so dim, just that one desk lamp illuminating Tracy's face as she focused on her notes, completely unaware of the monster standing right behind her. I was screaming at the screen, "Turn around, Tracy! Turn around!" And then he struck her. I am sorry, but the brutality of this attack was entirely uncalled for. He hit her with a blunt object, just absolutely viciously, right there in her own home. The sound design alone was sickening. Tracy didn't even have a chance to fight back or scream. She just collapsed. The writers really went to the darkest possible place with this one. To see Tracy Abbott, the woman who bakes cookies and writes novels and holds that family together with pure love, brutally struck down and left in a pool of her own blood? No. I refuse to accept this. I've been watching since 2015, and I have seen some dark storylines, but this is easily one of the most gut-wrenching things they've ever done. Because Markham didn't just hit her and run. He left her there to bleed out as a warning. A bloody, horrific warning to Jack and Diane. He wanted them to know that nowhere is safe, not even the sacred Abbott mansion. He wanted to break them psychologically, and honestly, he probably succeeded. He just slinked back into the night like the absolute coward he is, leaving our beloved Tracy fighting for her life on the Persian rug. And then, Jack came home. Oh, the absolute devastation of that moment. Jack walking through the front door, probably exhausted, probably just wanting to check on Diane and get some rest after dealing with the endless nightmare of Patty Williams and the kidnapping of Abby and Dominic. He walks in, the house is quiet, too quiet. You could see the subtle shift in Peter Bergman's acting right there. He just knew something was wrong. So he walks into the library, and the scream he let out. I mean, give Peter Bergman the Emmy right now. Give it to him today. The raw, guttural sound of a man finding his baby sister, his rock, lying in a pool of blood. Jack dropped to his knees, and I was crying right along with him. He was hovering over her, his hands covered in her blood, begging her to hold on, realizing she was barely breathing. Jack has lost so much in his life. He has failed to protect the women he loves so many times. But Tracy? Tracy is his anchor. If he loses Tracy, Jack Abbott will not survive it. He will completely lose his mind. I know some people are loving this dark, gritty turn the show is taking, but personally, I am struggling. I want drama, yes, but seeing Tracy like that just felt so violating. The paramedics rushing in, Jack looking completely shell-shocked, the flashing red lights reflecting against the mansion walls as they loaded her onto the stretcher and rushed her to the ER. It was just scene after scene of pure emotional torture. And we have to talk about Diane. Because Diane's reaction was exactly what you would expect, but also so incredibly tragic. Diane came downstairs and saw the blood. She saw Jack's face, and she absolutely lost it. Diane went into a state of total, unadulterated panic. Because she knows. She knows this was meant for her. She knows Markham is sending a message that she is the ultimate target. Diane is already traumatized. We saw her playing nurse to Jack, trying to hold it together, but she has been living in a state of constant paranoia since her own kidnapping. And now, seeing Tracy nearly murdered in her own home, Diane is convinced she is next. And honestly, can you blame her? Markham is a ghost. He gets in, he destroys, and he vanishes. Diane is probably going to lock herself in a panic room and never come out. But here is where I get really conflicted. Because on one hand, I feel so bad for Diane. No one deserves to be hunted by a psychopathic doctor who is working with Patty Williams. But on the other hand, a tiny, irrational part of my brain is screaming, "This is all because of you, Diane." I know it's not fair. I know she is a victim here. But Tracy wouldn't have even been trying to contact Martin Laurent if Diane hadn't brought all this chaos back into their lives. Wait, that's not fair. Patty Williams is the real villain here, along with Markham. Patty is the one who orchestrated the kidnapping of Abby and Dominic just to torture Ashley, and Patty is the one pulling Markham's strings. Speaking of Patty, how much do you want to bet she is sitting in her jail cell right now, smiling that creepy, unhinged smile, knowing exactly what Markham just did? Patty hates the Abbotts. She has always hated them, even when she claimed to love Jack. She poisoned Summer years ago, and now her partner in crime has nearly killed Tracy. The Abbott family is literally under siege. Ashley is already feral over Abby and Dominic being taken, and now Jack is going to be a complete wreck over Tracy. So what happens next? Tracy is in the ER, clinging to life. If the writers kill off Tracy Abbott, I swear I am organizing a fan boycott. You do not touch Tracy. She has to survive this. But even if she does, the physical and emotional recovery is going to take months, if not years. And what about the Martin Laurent connection? Now that Tracy is incapacitated, who is going to reach out to Martin? Will Jack do it out of pure, desperate revenge? Will Diane do it to save herself? And where the hell is Victor Newman in all of this? Victor claims he controls everything in Genoa City, but Markham is running around bashing people's heads in. Victor is too busy trying to steal Nikki's shares and plotting corporate takeovers against Sally Spectra to notice that a literal serial killer is targeting his rivals. Though, knowing Victor, he might just sit back and watch the Abbotts crumble. I am just so emotionally drained. I love this show, I really do, but nights like this make it so hard. You invest years into these characters. You watch them grow, you watch them love, you watch them fight, and then in one 5-minute scene, a monster with a blunt object tears it all down. The image of Tracy on that floor is going to haunt me for weeks. Am I the only one who feels this strongly? I know some of you in the forums were saying the show needed higher stakes, and well, you definitely got them. But at what cost? Tracy is the soul of Y&R. She is the one who reminds us that amidst all the corporate backstabbing and the cheating and the lies, there is still goodness and pure family loyalty. To see that goodness punished so brutally is just a tough pill to swallow. I guess all we can do now is pray for a miracle in the ER. Jack is going to need everyone to rally around him. Billy needs to get his head out of his own messy drama with Sally and step up for his brother and sister. The Abbotts need to unite like never before, because Markham and Patty are playing for keeps. All right, I need to go pour myself a massive glass of wine and try to calm down before I try to sleep. Let me know in the comments how you guys are handling this, because I am definitely not okay. Do you think Tracy will pull through? What is Jack's next move? Drop your theories below, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay safe out there, GC fans.